Are you planning to move to Australia as a nurse or a healthcare worker? Well, if you're a nurse like me and you might consider just wanted to check what are the incentives, then this video might be for you. In case you haven't met me yet, my name is Ate Aima and I'm a registered nurse in the Philippines, New Zealand, and Australia. So for this video, I'm gonna talk about the incentives and just a rundown of the income or per hour rate as a nurse in different states here in Australia. Just a disclaimer, I am not a migration agent and I'm also not an education agent. So all of the information that I've gathered in this video is from my own research and from my own opinion. And all of this information that I'm gonna be talking about in this video is also available in the website that I will also post on my caption. And so if this is something that you would want to watch, then just keep on watching and hit the like button. So before I begin with my video about the rates and the state incentive, I just want to clarify a terminology which we will encounter a lot, and terminology that will be helpful for you if you consider moving to an area. So one of it is the MMM, or widely known as Modified Monash Model. Under the MMM, or sometimes you will encounter it might be just MM, it actually categorizes the kind of area you wanted to move. It's actually nationwide here in Australia. So they use this model to classify the area if it's a metropolitan area, regional area, large rural town, or very remote communities. This kind of model also oversees if how far from civilization or how remote the area is. So for like the metropolitan areas, it's classified as MM1, or the big cities. It's actually until MM7. So I'll just gonna put a table and you can just have a read through of the in-depth of this kind of model. This is important model to consider when moving to Australia or moving to somewhere in Australia, because it actually will see the importance of how you can get local services, or how you can get if you know that it's near something else. I'm not that particular to discussing this because this is a lot. I mean, I can, but it's not gonna be the scope of what we would want to show in this video. And yeah, so I'll just gonna put a link on here so you can actually have a read through. And as I was saying, in my opinion, so when about this model, what I have observed based on my experience or based on my opinion, the places which are classified until MM1 or until MM3, there are the areas where rent, if that is something you would consider, like the house rent or cost of living, rent are particularly higher than the one in the remote areas. Because apparently a lot of people love to move to bigger cities. I mean, I understand them because of access to everything else. But yeah, so the MM4 until MM7, they might have lower house rent, but also higher commodities like buying food or accessible to power or something like that. So yeah, so just have a read through of the suburbs, because it's going to be here, everything in the website that I'm going to post. As you can see here on my screen, care of Microsoft Bing, I searched the rates of registered nurse here per state in Australia. So there are 8 different states here in Australia, and have a look. These are the rates of the newly graduate registered nurses per hour per state. If you're gonna deep dive into it, it might be different to the company, or it might be different because this is just like the median hourly rate, because some companies might be using the nurses award system per state, or they might have EBA or enterprise bargaining agreement with the company, or things like that. So but roughly that is the rough estimation of the rate of registered nurses, and I'm not gonna deep dive into it. Do your research, as this might be different to what is actually on your contract, or yeah. So so also, upon saying this, it also increases every year. So if you're gonna ask me about the increase, it actually depends on the increment level and how many hours you actually work for the whole year. That's a whole different topic to discuss. We're just gonna focus about the incentive. So let's do the state incentives in Australia. So for start, we'll go to Northern Territory. So with Northern Territory, this is the file that I've researched from them. So actually, this is just not for registered nurses, any allied health care worker, or something to do with wanting to move in there. So they actually have the files of who is eligible and who are the one can claim it, and also how will you be able to claim it when you move there. Also, there are like what can be covered through this costing, and so which upon saying that, as I mentioned earlier, there are this like the location itself. So for Northern Territory, it shows here that if your location is until MM2 or modified model 2, then for a 3-month, 6-month, and 12-month contract, they show here how much can you actually get as an incentive from their government. So here, and also for the MM6. So yeah, I think in the Northern Territory, most of their MMM or modified model is only 2, 6, and 7. So that's why it's just showing here it's only this location. Right. I can attach this file on my description so you can have a look if you're planning to move in the Northern Territory. Next is ACT. So ACT, upon showing earlier how much the rate per hour is for newly grad, is 35.28, but please don't quote me on that. That's according to Bing, Microsoft Bing. See, so they offer a relocation reimbursement up to 12,000. It depends on how many also members of your family. Like they also have like additional 2,000 per dependent up until 6 dependents. So you will also see the file here on like what information or what is the limitations of the relocation assistance that they can help you with. Don't worry, all of these files will be attached to my video, so if you can just have a read, and at least I'm just guiding you from here. And yeah, if you also have questions, don't hesitate to put a comment so maybe we can research it together, as I'm also learning from here. And also, of course, I just wanted to help people to be aware of this kind of idea and this kind of incentive that the government here in Australia is offering. Next is the Western Australia. Western Australia has the newly grad rate 36.10 per hour. So this is the file that was very recent, literally like updated the 28th of the 6th. So they based it on their computation, apparently on like for how many weeks are you gonna be staying on the Western Australia. So yeah, if you're planning to move to Western Australia, better also to, if you have an agent or someone that will help you, then to organize everything, then probably best to speak to them about this kind of incentive as well. I'll attach the link also on my description box so you can have a look of all of the information that's from here. Next is Tasmania. So Tasmania, where is it? Here you go. So they have all this relocation payment up to 15,000 staged over 3 years. So what does it mean? So it means that you need to stay there for full-time under the Tasmanian Health Services for 3 years, and you'll be eligible for the relocation payment of 15,000. So meaning every year you will receive like 5,000. The only thing that I haven't read through this, I'm not sure what if you wanted to move to a different state, if they're gonna give you the 5,000 or yeah. So, but it's just good to know that they also have this kind of incentive there. See, so they also have this scholarship program, and yeah. Next state is Queensland. Yeah, so actually Queensland is the most generous state to offer for people who want to move in their area. Actually, last financial year, I saw that it was around 70,000 for each person who wants to move here, but now they actually have a different scheme. So this is the updated version of someone, a healthcare worker who wants to move here in this particular state. So here you can see, as I've discussed as well about the MMM or modified Moldash model, it says here about the category 4 to 7, and then they're eligible to have the 10,000 incentive. Yeah, so also from here there is also the scheme 2. So I think for the scheme 1, that's from the interstate or international healthcare workers. So don't worry, I'm gonna put the link and you can have a read through about this. Okay, there you go. Also, if you have any questions about the incentive, you can pop them a message. So this is last updated May 2024. So I think this is still the same. They still offer the 70,000 all in all for relocating there, especially if you move to their rural and remote areas. Next is SA, which is South Australia. So South Australia's rate for a newly grad nurse is 35.28. So yeah, as you can see here, they have outlined the up to 10,000 when you're moving into a MM1 metropolitan location. If you're moving like regional location, then 13, and then up to 15 grand. Yeah, so it always will boil down to the modified Monash model. So yeah. Next is Victoria. So Victoria offers 35.28 as well per hour for a newly grad nurse. So this is actually the latest one that I can see. Actually, if you have more information about it, because I cannot find any more relevant or more relevant but more not updated version. They don't. This is the only page that I can see that offers relocation assistant, but yeah, so you can see here that it's only available until 30th of June. So I'm not sure if for all our international applicants who will be moving to Victoria, if it's still available if you already applied beforehand. So, because I think a lot of people are moving into Victoria. So the last one is the New South Wales, where as well they offer like grants up until, depends on the location. So as you can see in here, so these are the relocation grant if you're moving from a metropolitan to another area. So it depends. So they have their own table for moving same state but different area. Yeah. So these are also the grant that you can see that nurses are eligible as well here. So just gonna be putting all the link in my description box so you can have a look. So all of the information that I have tackled today are valid on the time of recording. Let me know on the comment section if something is misinformed, like for the hourly rate. Actually, for my own opinion, because it varies different. It really varies because for someone that I know, they don't earn that much, and yeah, so, or they earn more than what is stated in there. So let me know if you're from Australia or if you're moving to Australia, if how much rate are you actually offered to. I hope this video helped you to decide which state to move here as a healthcare worker, especially as a nurse. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye for now.